Happy Monday and welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Well, what is going on in this country? They almost shut it down. I mean, I'm just trying to understand why we're at this place and time in our country still. We should be, you would hope that we would be getting closer to working together. And this is madness to me. It's unnecessary. It's all unnecessary. People are on strike, going on strike, threatening strike. I think it's just ludicrous. But maybe that's just where the stars have aligned, trying to bring us back to some type of reality where we can all deal on one accord, if ever. We may never, but I just pray that we get to a better place. That's on our political, that we can have constructive discourse with one another instead of chaos, because this is chaotic. And then we go to sports. I like Colorado, and I think Dion is going to do a fabulous job. He just needs some bigger men on the defense. That's the problem. I wish somebody had called and asked me. I would have told him. How about them apples? Well, I just came back from a trip to Las Vegas where I filmed the last segment of my impending docuseries on Trailblazers, Las Vegas Trailblazers, from after the Rat Pack, in between the residencies. It was a group of entertainers that were there that held the seats warm for these new upstarts, these newcomers, these residencies. But had a wonderful time with some of those show business folks. Wore myself out. Maybe I did a little bit too much, trying to get it all done, being that I don't live there anymore. It was, I must have thought I was every woman, that I could do it all. But in speaking of terms of doing it all, it's like when a woman is in business, sometimes she feels like she has to do it all. And this year, I met a group of women that are helping one another. They are called the Women's Growth Collab. And today we have Miss Anna Ballou and Miss Michelle Christie. They're the co-founders. Hey, ladies.
Hello, Janice.
Hello, Janice.
How are you? Are you tired from the retreat or what?
A little bit energized, a little bit tired.
Exactly. Yeah. A little bit of both. That's right.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
So tell me how the two of you came up with this idea. Anna, why don't you start?
Sure. So Michelle and I met at a training course almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I think. And we started talking about some of the things that we felt like women business owners needed, ourselves included. That's one of the things that we bonded on. We were both women business owners, and we hadn't seen that much support out there for women. And so we talked about it for over a year, probably around a year, and kind of thought about what it would look like. And then we started talking to women and seeing if they thought that would be helpful. And we got a good response. And the whole focus is on, Janice, as you said, bringing together women who have similar challenges, sometimes you feel all alone. Like you said, you don't know, you have friends, but none of them have businesses and they don't really understand, or you have a spouse that doesn't really understand. And so it's hard to find somebody to talk to. So we started reaching out to women and putting them together, and it's been amazing. And now we've been doing this almost 2 years now, I think.
Okay.
And it's going great.
Okay. So Michelle, what was your viewpoint on what was needed?
Well, first of all, Janice, thank you for hosting us tonight. And I have to agree with you with Coach Prime. He's going to bring a whole new level of excitement to the game. At least he's got me watching college
Yeah,
football,
look.
especially
Yes.
University of Colorado. And I'm from Colorado, right? But let's
Okay.
face it, that has not been a team that you watch for a long time.
Okay, okay, that's
So
it.
Coach Prime is bringing some excitement to that. I think Honor touched on it. The Women's Growth Collab was born out of a necessity for Honor and me. We both came from corporate backgrounds. We both were used to having a lot of support and a lot of people around us that we could collaborate with and brainstorm with. And we both have our own respective businesses now that we are trying to, gen up, if you will. When we met in 2020, it was in a training academy for executive coaching. And she and I, it was just one of those, how you have a conversation with a woman sometimes and you're like, oh, we're going to be besties right
Yes,
away. You just
absolutely.
know that. And that's how it was with Honor, right? We both very much wanted to give back to women business owners. We were very focused on that. And the particular demographic that we're targeting, if you will, are those women business owners, frankly, Janice, they're a bit of unsung heroes. They get up every day, they go to their home office or wherever they go to work, and they do what they do. And yet there's not really anybody paying that much attention to them. Did you know that almost 40% of the businesses in the United States are women owned, women started and women owned? And yet only 2% of those businesses ever reach $1 million in revenue. Now we get it. Not everybody wants to have $1 million business, but as we all know, money gives us choices to make.
Right.
And we wanted to help those women business owners get to a different level, whatever that different level is for them. And as Honor mentioned, I think women do a really good job of surrounding themselves with other females in their network, but they're not always female business owners. And that's the difference. We're bringing female business owners together because it's different. You may have friends that work for a corporation or are teachers or healthcare providers or whatever they are. But when you sit down and say, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make payroll, it's not necessarily a conversation they can have. Right. And so we're bringing all these women business owners together who have those similar experiences. They're from all over the United States, different backgrounds, different industries, really trying to get a lot of diversity in the group that way, to support each other, challenge our way of thinking, and help each other grow personally, professionally, and health-wise.
Those were the one of the things that I mentioned earlier, that at the beginning of our meetings, that you would, we'd have to give you a report. We'd have to tell you how we were personally, professionally, and business-wise.
Yeah, and health-wise, right?
And health-wise, okay.
Yep. So we'd always ask you to check in and tell us how that was going, right?
Yeah, because, it's sometimes you just really are not thinking. We're so busy just being busy.
Right.
And doing the busy work that we're not really thinking about. Well, am I having a good day today? Am I where I need to be mentally in order to keep trying to take on these tasks and make this grow? Because I'm going to tell you, when I got in with you all, I was like, so what am I doing over here? And it's kind of, I've got an idea, but something's not catching on. I need to be doing something else. And just the other things that you all brought to the table about, on the placemat, since we're having dinner.
That's right.
On the placemat, there were these topics. So how did you figure out that those were the things you needed to talk to us about?
Go ahead, Michelle.
I'll offer my answer. The easiest answer, Janice, is it's something that Honor and I needed to address ourselves in our own businesses.
Okay.
Right? So there's a constant supply of topics, if you will, of things that we're wanting to learn and get better at. And so we can bring those topics to bear for the other collabors. And I think, as you mentioned, it doesn't matter the businesses or where they're from. We've had some prospective collabors go, well, you don't understand my business. I've got a very unique business. And what we find is you may have a very unique business, but the challenges are the same across those businesses.
Okay.
Honor?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we bring every collab, we have what we call a learning lab, right? We bring a topic in. It could be focused on business development. It could be focused on marketing. It could be focused on financial management. And then we also, as you know, Janice, we talk about the issues and challenges that our collaborators are having. And then we take some of those ideas and then create learning labs for the next time, because there's always more than one woman that's dealing with that, right? I'm having trouble getting leads, or I'm losing clients, or, I don't know how to forecast my business, or whatever it might be. I don't know how to post on LinkedIn. So we get some of those, the discussion topics, and we turn those into learning labs to try to help support them. And I think that's worked out really well. And then we continue to get ideas. We probably have more ideas than we have, monthly learning labs.
When we have time. Yeah.
We're already into 2024 thinking about what we're going to be talking about next year.
So you're going into your third year?
Yes.
Yes.
No, yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in my third year, and I still feel like I'm just beginning. I don't know if that sounds crazy. Is that the norm, kind of, sort of?
I would say yes, but that's the good news and the bad news, right?
Okay.
Because it feels like you're just beginning, you still have that energy to really push and take it forward, right? The bad news is if you're like Honor and me, we set way more aggressive goals than what we've actually achieved. And
tell me about it.
We're off our 2024 planning, so we've still got a lot of those ideas and things we want to do in motion, right? We just know we need to really narrow our focus and pick what we want to do and what we want to grow this to. So we're having a lot of fun with it, though.
Well, it seems like you all are developing a curriculum for us, kind of, sort of.
Yes, absolutely.
And it has you. I mean, I would hear some of the ladies saying, well, about making payroll and how to project which jobs to do first, how to prioritize, and how you set them up for payment, and working with family, but just I was trying to take all of what I was hearing and learning to make it fit my situation. The one thing that I do say that it did for me, it motivated me, like, to, don't get stuck on it, just go do it.
That's right.
And then whatever the challenges are, we'll talk about that next month, but just do as much as you can do, what you think you need to be doing, and then bring that back to the collab and see where you are in that. Did you work it out? Did you fit in, or are you still out playing in the ozones or something?
No, I love that you remember that, Janice, because, that's a lot about what the collab is about. It's that group of people around you that can help hold you accountable to that step or two that you can take that moves the ball forward. It doesn't necessarily solve the whole big picture, right? But sometimes we get caught in our own inertia, overthinking it, the 1,000 different options that we have. Get out of your head, take a step, and let's come back, and then let's talk about it. Let's see how you did. So thanks for remembering that.
Yes. And one of the other things that is so important, we have women, somebody says this at almost the end of every collab, and they said this again at the retreat, is it's an opportunity to get out of the noise, to get out of the whirlwind, so that you can take a step back and look at your business and realize, you know what, I've been doing okay, but I really don't have a clear strategy, or I don't know, I'm not really forecasting my cash flow. And so I'm spending money and money's coming in, but I'm not really being intentional about taking a step back, getting out of the whirlwind, and looking at things in a different way. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the other main reasons that we do this, is to get you out of the just the roller coaster, right? It never stops. It never stops unless you make it stop by just, I'm going to take 2 hours this month, if nothing else, and I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to think about my business in a different way, in a more holistic way.
Right. I know when I joined, when you all accepted me in, um, it was like I had to focus. I had to say, okay, this is where I am. This is where I want to go. And my main thing was, I guess, because my company is different. Look, it's my company is unique. It has its
Exactly.
that that I was trying to monetize, really just monetize my podcast, which would be of a benefit to my company.
Sure.
Okay. So we're talking about horses and carts and which one's first, and and because at first it was like just have good content. So then I started being able to interview everybody, and then I've got the content. Then it was like, okay, so where's the money at? And how do I go get it? And it just seemed it was overwhelming in a way, even though I think I'm pretty good at marketing. But I did some things. Remember, I did you saw my new trailer when the show
Yes.
came on.
Yeah.
Right.
Very nice. Very good. Yes.
It was those types of creative things that I was still doing. Everything I'm doing is creative, but I hadn't got to that part where I was making the pieces fit to make money. So I'm still working on that. And so tell me, I couldn't make the retreat, but tell me how the retreat went. Tell me what you took away from it, what the ladies took away from it.
I'll let Honor start with this one. It's a fun thing to talk about.
It is. It's so fun. It was our first, we meet online every month for 2 hours, right? And we have 3 different collabs, and it was an opportunity to bring everybody together in person. We hadn't even met most of them. I think maybe I'd met 1 or 2, maybe Michelle, you'd met 1 or 2 in Dallas. And so we brought people together in person. Everybody was hugging each other, even though they'd never met before.
Right.
And it was, talking. We really had to kind of make everybody, kind of calm down a little bit. So everybody was super excited, but it had a different energy, and it's a little more social because we had time. We were together about 2 days, I guess,
Okay.
and over a 3-day period. We had
And
dinners.
the 2 days you were where?
We were in Dallas.
Okay, you were.
Well, we were in Plano, which is a suburb of Dallas. So we were north of Dallas, and we just, we had, because as we talked about, we've got business, personal, and health that we talk about in our collabs. We had sections on all those things. We
Okay.
didn't want it to be all business, right? So we had some personal stuff we talked about in terms of, we brought in a financial manager that talked about women and wealth creation.
Okay.
That was Michelle's idea, and that went over great. She talked about when you have your own business, you have to do some things a little differently. You have to think about at the end, what are you going to do? Are you going to sell it? Or are you somebody going to buy it? These things that most of the women hadn't even thought about.
Right.
We had a health discussion specific to women, and of course we talked some business. So it was really, we tried to make it holistic, just like we do our meetings. And we had some of those reflection questions where we asked people to think a little bit too. It was fantastic. Michelle, what do you have to add?
Yeah, no, I think, Janice, it was enlightening. Most of the women who attended were from out of state. And so I think that says something right there. Not only did they make the time, but they budgeted the money to travel to Dallas, right? To meet their fellow collabers. Some they knew and some they didn't. This was cross collab, so they hadn't necessarily met, but they knew they had that women business owner in common. Mm-hmm. And as we say with women business owners, not only are you trying to run a business, but 99.9% of the time, you've also got caregiver on your resume. And so when something pops up in the caregiver category, it's often both urgent and important, and it can absolutely impact the day-to-day running of your business. And in fact, we had something like that happen where a collaborator who had signed up for the event was not able to attend because something came up, right? And what a fun thing was on Friday afternoon, and I will tell you, this is one of the few times on a Friday afternoon at 4:00, we all got on a Zoom call with that woman, and we talked to her about that challenge that she was having with her particular client in that case gave her some idea. First of all, she just needed to get out of her head. We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Something's not going like we want. But, you know, there were 10 of us around the table brainstorming with her on different ways to make this all happen. And I think everyone felt, I know we walked away energized in Dallas. And I emailed her later, and her response to me was, I think I found my tribe. So I think that was a pretty good indication, right, that she found some value in the conversation.
Yes.
That was a nice way to put it. She thinks she found her tribe.
She found her tribe.
That makes a difference.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to find your space and your place, and see where you're getting your support.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because you asked about what the feedback was from the collab, and while there was a lot of good feedback, one of the things that came forward was, even though we're doing this mostly on Zoom once a month, as Honor said, they form relationships over the course of these meetings, and they're very confident, very comfortable sharing with each other what's going on in their lives or their business, whatever. And that's a huge honor to Honor and me, right? Because that's what we were trying to create, a safe place where these women could come together, share some things that maybe they'd be a little too vulnerable to share in a local community, local networking type community, but they're able to share it with this group across the United States, right? Our collabs are fairly intimately sized. There's only 10 in each collab. So it gives them, I think, the confidence where they can talk about things that everybody's going to get, right? We've all been there.
It makes us, there's a level of comfort.
Very much so.
Because I got to know, I'm getting ready to try to say somebody's name and I'm going to say it right.
Is it Terry?
Terry.
Yeah.
That does the websites.
Yeah.
Terry. Yeah.
Terry, one day she spent a couple of hours with me, and it was like, wow, thank you. You know, because then she kind of put me in the right direction that I needed to go. When I was working on it, I couldn't afford her, but at least she gave me some ideas how to get mine started.
Well, I think that's the point, right? These women are in it for each other, not necessarily to make money. This is not a networking group per se. Networking is a byproduct of what we do, but really they come together for each other to help each other grow their respective businesses. We've got women in the collab whose businesses will never really benefit. It's not like they can sell their product or service to other collabers, because it's so niche focused on what they do, but yet they still find benefit in the experience that these other women business owners have had.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you say there's only each collab, you only usually just deal with 10 women at a time?
We try to keep it intimately sized, right? And Honor, I'm sorry, I'll turn it over to you, but we keep it intimately sized because, as you know, we're only on the phone for an hour and a half. And we want everyone to have a voice in that meeting. So we really count on active participation. And for those who have run meetings before, there's just not space if you have 20 or 30 people on that call for everyone to participate. And we want to make sure everyone has a place to participate and have a voice in that. So that's why we keep them fairly intimately sized. And then we do other things to sort of, shake things up, like an in-person retreat or do a cross collab event where we can get different voices and perspectives on the phone.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes we'll even, because we're on Zoom, we can put people in breakout rooms, right? So we'll put 2 or 3 in a room where they can get a little bit deeper on the topic that we're talking about, because, we try to create enough time and opportunity for everybody to talk and share and ask questions and say something that they want to make sure other people know about. But this is an opportunity for just 2 of you one-on-one to kind of really dig into each other and hold each other accountable. What are your goals? What can I help? How can I help you do that? I'm going to ask you about this next month. You're saying you're going to do this, and next month I'm going to ask you how you did, right? How did it go?
Right. And it was you all have an exercise where the challenge, and then in order for us to help somebody with their challenge, you have to phrase the question a certain way.
Yeah.
without sounding what judgmental or be given a directive or something. Say
Right.
that. Explain that for me.
So it's the most time that we take in this exercise, we call it the Collab Challenge, and
Okay.
we take most of the time is on asking questions because we believe that everybody can solve their own problems. Sometimes they, as Michelle said, they get in their head.
Right.
Sometimes you only have your own perspective and it's
Right.
spinning around and you can't get out of the circle. So we ask them questions, and the most effective questions start with what or how.
Okay.
And we try to stay away from why, because sometimes that can sound judgy. Well, why'd you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
sometimes it works okay, but we try to stay away from it. And then we have a time for suggestions later after everyone asks a question, and we help them see it in a different way because they're stopping and thinking about it in a different way than they have before. And then there's time for suggestions. But if you come and say, well, have you tried? That's kind of like you're sneaking in a suggestion. So we'll ask you to wait until we get to suggestions. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's always seemed to me, because even when we did that little exercise, it was like, okay, I had to really find a way to rethink, to rephrase my questions or my input or my suggestions to make them not sound like suggestions, but maybe though it might be a suggestion. But it was it was very helpful to me.
Good.
And I see why you two saw the need for Women's Growth Collab, so that we could, as a group, continue to grow in business, because the men have had a jump on us,
Yeah.
but we're right on their heels, whether they know it or not. We're right on their heels, and it's important to us because we want to be successful. We want to succeed just like they do,
Sure.
But a lot of times, it's always a situation where you have to reach back and pull somebody up.
That's exactly right.
And
the great news is, Janice, Honor and I get as much out of it as we hope our collaborators get out of it, right? So
yeah.
You know what I kind of missed? I kind of liked the triumvirate.
Yeah.
Oh, what a topic!
I got to find out everybody's business had a different aspect that I could kind of take from. One of my triumvirates was with Allison.
Yeah.
And Allison is very strategic.
Yes.
And I was just in awe because to me, how young she was and how strategic. I'm like, girl, how'd you get there? Because she was very strategic in everything that she did, even some of the little screen shares that she would bring. I had never heard of some of this stuff, and I'm saying, oh my goodness. But she was very methodical.
Yeah.
In her approach to what it was she was doing, while she was being a woman and living life and going through difficulties and changes,
right.
and still being there, still being present and somewhat focused. She was doing a pretty good job, I thought.
Yes.
It was I was feeling for her.
Yeah.
It was something, but it was a connection that I guess I hadn't experienced in a while.
It's interesting you say that, Janice, because her name actually came up at the retreat too. She wasn't able to make it, but several people said Allison is so good at strategy, and she loves helping people. I mean, you can just, every time she just wants to get in and help you with your strategy,
right?
And she says on almost every collab, "I love strategy."
Yeah, and she said, "Just call me. Just let me know."
I know, exactly. Right. And so that is what the triumvirates are about. Yeah. The triumvirates are taking a smaller group of three, where again you can dig into everybody's challenge. We don't have the bigger collab, and so we've gotten some good feedback out of that too, and some really good, it's an opportunity to hold people a little bit more accountable again, right? Because you can get more detail about what they're really trying to achieve.
I think
Now,
that's
I
where,
don't
that's
know
also
how.
where the really tight relationships are formed. I mean, you know, it's been a while since you and Allison have connected, but you still remember the impact of that, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how I got connected. Do either of you know?
I
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we know.
I came across I came across you in LinkedIn, and it sounded like you had a pretty fabulous life and we're doing some cool things. So I reached out to see if you wanted to
Wow.
talk about the collab.
Wow. Because I kept saying now, how did they find me? Did they find me or did I find them? I was like a little thrown off. But in saying that, let me ask you this. How are you feeling about what you extend as far as diversity goes?
Well, we're not doing as well as we would like.
Okay.
We do have a goal of having a diverse group. So it's diversity in terms of location and industry. Michelle talked about also generations. We'd love to have
Okay.
that. Those
Okay.
perspectives are very different, and then ethnic
Oh Lord.
backgrounds. You know,
Yes.
yeah, generations are. It's very interesting. That makes for good conversation. But it has been challenging to get the diversity, ethnic diversity that we would like to have. So,
Yeah.
but it is a goal of ours. So we're still working on it.
Well, I'll be your conduit
Okay.
on that aspect.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Because I think um, I've always had, living in Las Vegas and traveling all over the world, I got all kind of friends,
Yeah.
and having moved back to Kentucky, not so much. It's just basically like the group that I grew up with, or a few new people that I met here and there. But and just to say it, I got a whole bunch of white girlfriends. They're everywhere. They're over in Paris. They're in Las Vegas. One's down in Tennessee. Um, Shanna, she moved to Tennessee from Las Vegas. She was in sales for one of the casinos, and where I did one of my musicals. And I met her at another women's function. She was
Good.
going through it,
Yeah.
but she booked my show that I wrote. She was able to work out a plan for me to come in that room and do my show with cameras flying and me taping and everything. I call her Shannon Danner. She looks like Gina Davis, and she's
Oh,
as
wow.
tall. Look, hot redhead. Um, I've formed these bonds that I try to keep connected to, because they kind of make me who I am.
Right.
That's who I want to be. I want to be inclusive, and I know a whole bunch of everybody and every kind of everybody.
Yeah.
So I just want to say to you ladies, thank you for thinking that my life was interesting enough that you wanted me to.
It
You know,
is.
it
It's
was
a very interesting life.
well, thank you. I'm not still kind of where I want to be. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I'm headed in that direction. I'm just not where I should be right now, because I tend to go off on the creative end,
Mhm.
maybe to an extreme. I don't know. But I know that in trying to make this a business, what I did in Las Vegas, the filming, and having now to shop for a distributor or shop for investors and sponsors and things of that nature. Now I'm really getting ready to get into the work. But all of this is all under my umbrella of Jantastic Productions. And I got to make sure that I'm not doing this like
Too much.
too much, too many different directions.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that happens to a lot of us. We have a lot of ideas, and Michelle, I'm one of those people too. That I'm like, hey, what if we did this, and what if we did that?
Yeah.
Michelle's like, let's do this one thing first.
Yeah.
Let's
I
focus
mean, I
on.
wake up every day with like a light bulb just goes
Yeah.
off when I wake up, and I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Janice, I love your creativity and I love your passion, and you do have great ideas. And I'm excited to continue to follow what you're doing and see what and support you however we can, and to see how things turn out for you.
Yeah. Well, I want to stay plugged in. I want to keep you all plugged in here so we can share this word. I can maybe help with a little bit of diversity, because I know I have some friends that have businesses, that this couldn't hurt. I mean, I have a girlfriend that is just starting. She wants to be this life coach, and um, she's going for her certification this month.
Oh, good.
But, I think the Collab is a place where she could figure out how to bring all that into fruition,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Well, Janice, you are the embodiment of what we are looking for in a collaborator. And by that, I mean someone with a growth mindset. That's why we chose the name that we did. We want someone who is not comfortable with the status quo.
No.
Except for Janice, you're not comfortable with the status quo.
Right.
Someone who wants to continually push themselves to try new things and do different things, right?
Check.
So check for you on that. And as far as the other goes, we find it's funny because with Honor and I being women, we thought reaching out to women would be relatively easy. But at the same time, we understand this. Women tend to have sort of a natural trust barrier because of what we've been through over the decades, right? So there is a trust barrier there. We are all about diversity, be it geographic, business, B2B, B2C, nonprofit. We've got all of that going. We are looking for some help. So anything that you can do to push your friend our way, at least you can help knock down that trust barrier. You know what we do now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they want to check us out, they can go to the Women's Growth Collab website at womensgrowthcollab.com. In that spirit of gaining trust, we are very transparent on that website as far as what it is that we do and how much we charge for it. So they can take a look at us there and make contact with Honor and or me through the website as well.
So I spell out Women's Growth Collab.
You got it. womensgrowthcollab.com.
And this is just me showing off a little bit here. I think I know how to do something, and it goes a little bit like this, and it says,
"Oh, look at you!
Oh, wow!
Woo-hoo.
There we go." So, ladies, if you're watching, that's the website for the wonderful Women's Growth Collab that I've been a part of, going on 6 months, close to it.
A little over that, probably.
I became a ghost for a minute.
You travel a lot. Yeah, you got lots of exciting things going on. Yeah.
But I want to thank you both for taking your time just to share with us, because support, women need support. We're good at being, we can be. I always say I'm every woman. We can be Chaka Khan, but we need support, and it's wonderful when you get it from like-minded women.
Yes,
there's women are powerful.
That's
I
right.
believe that we are very powerful. We're ruling and running the world in our own way, but where we are is in the back seat, but we're really in the driver's seat.
They just don't know. But if I can talk a con for just a minute, I'll be happy to do that. Thank you, Janice. Thank you for joining us.
Girls, have a good evening. It's dinner time. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Let me know. Send me my link. I'll show up.
Okay.
Take care. Good talking to you.
Thank you,
Miss
Janice.
you. Take care.
Right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. That was Michelle and Honor from the Women's Growth Collab. I've been a part of that group, saying maybe more than 6 months now. But if you're interested, let me know. I'm at jantasticproductions.com. My email is info@jantastic.com, jantasticproductions.com. And If you're interested in it, we can put you on a waiting list because I'm sure they have a waiting list by now. Well, it's dinner time. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I want you to have a fantastic evening. Stay safe. This show will play again on Friday at 7 p.m. I think I'm going to change my Friday 7 p.m. time because there's always a function. There's a meeting for everyone to meet Coach Kenny Payne at the Yearlings Club. So I'm going to play this at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Michelle, which means 5 o'clock your time on Friday, so that I can go and ask Coach Kenny Payne some questions about this year's U of L basketball team. On that note, guess who's coming to dinner? Bon appetit. See you Friday. I'll actually see you next Monday. Okay? All right. Here we go.
I say, I hope so. Never heard of it happening before, but you wanna try it, I ain't gonna dissuade you. If you wanna try it, baby.
So you finish everything you need to do before you sit down.
Okay, I think I might wear this jacket tomorrow.
So, take the black jacket, you going to Cleveland. Cleveland, down here,
I wasn't talking about wearing this, in the cold in Cleveland, I was saying wearing this from here to Cleveland.
So what you gonna do, take 2 jackets? That ain't gonna be enough once you get to Cleveland.
Okay.
Cleveland gonna be 50s and 40s.
I just take the black jacket to the city.
All right, hey, look, I don't want you to get sick. So I'm telling you, we're down here, Cleveland's up by the water.
Yeah.
Cold, much colder.
Yeah.
And so I just
And the cold is going that way.
bring it in.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hang it
And when you don't have to wear a jacket, then you can put other stuff up under your, cause sometimes you gonna have on that robe.
I ain't gonna have that robe on with one day,
The first day,
no,
the last Sunday.
Saturday.
You said Saturday you wasn't doing nothing.
Okay, well, Saturday evening is gonna be,
That's the youth thing.
I know, but Saturday evening, they're gonna, they're gonna,
They're gonna, fellow, this gonna be the pastor of the church up there.
they're gonna do that. So everybody that's there,
That's the two.
yeah, everybody that's there is gonna come with their robes and things up. They wanted it to be a big deal. And then, hey, look, and he knew he didn't do me right. So first thing he says, well, now, don't, everybody else that didn't get this, don't think it's special. We just gonna do it because I want to see everybody, y'all look good in y'all robes, and I want everybody to come out for him. I said to myself, you know, you got to be joking.
Full of, I hate to say it, full of, but I hate to. Ready to put the game on? Jack, I fixed the stove.
What?
Putting your own stuff up.
That ain't no ain't no brother. You might be. Oh, we'll track that one down.
Train with. We grew in about 4 or 5, didn't we?
Yeah. Me. Yeah. Field goal, man. Field goal.
What you call it? Like a window coat. We get some air in here some days. Is the flue open? Flue open? Well, the wind was blowing so tough the other night.
That was cold.
Yeah. I never heard nobody say nothing like that. He didn't have a fight. They closed it up. So you need nothing there. Let's go. You come back home, but you go. Hurry up, now, get your boots. You have to hold yourself in Cleveland.
You're right. You're right.
for Garoppolo playing with the 49ers the other day. He's a Raider.
Ooh, that defensive back ain't gonna want to run into him no more.
They didn't even sit. That's a false start.
He moves.
That one, they don't do that for. Wow. Nice one. There's speed on it too. He's running.
This pajamas in there. So the green pajamas ain't gonna do me no good. I need to take them. The plaid. I need to find the green. Yes, I didn't take. Oh, it's in those kitchens.
Yeah.
Where is that little short, chart? I'm gonna take that with me. It's in there on the calendar too, ain't it?
This is what you want?